Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Destiny here. Happy holidays. Today's video is actually going to be on some of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. What I think makes an eyeshadow palette superb. What would make me purchase one? And then some of the ones that I have right now, some of my favorites. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in because you guys know I love to run mouth. But when I go shopping for an eyeshadow palette, I'm always looking for something that has a few different textures, both matte, shimmer, maybe one or two for us, and something that has a good transition tone. Transition tones, especially when you're deeper skinned, are really important because they help to tie your whole entire eye look together. So a complete, perfect eyeshadow palette to me has variety in texture, transition tones, and then I also look for palettes that have light tones, medium tones, and dark tones so you can get a gradient, so you can create depth. So when you're doing a smoky eye, you kind of have all those kind of pieces to tie in. So that's the perfect palette in my opinion. And I think anything around 7 or so colors and more is probably the best. Okay, so the first palette is the Self-Made palette from Anastasia, Beverly Hills, and I love the packaging. That's also something that is kind of important when it comes to eyeshadow palettes. Is it huge, bulky packaging? Does it have a good mirror? Does it come with any brushes? Things like that. Not that I usually use the brushes in an eyeshadow palette, but when it comes with a really good one, which the Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes do, that's definitely a plus. I don't have the brush in here, but first thing I notice when I open it is that there are a huge variety of tones. There are light tones, medium tones, dark tones. I see shimmer, I see matte, and I do see a couple of great transition tones. And not only great transition tones, but tear duct pop tones and eyebrow highlight tones are also very important. And this palette actually has all of them. And another thing it has is a black and a dark brown, which is really good if you like to do smoky eyes. I also see a couple of orangey tones in here, which can be great transition tones depending on your skin tone, as well as the hot chocolate, which I love as a transition tone, and also metallic plum can also be a really nice transition tone. So I would definitely check out Anastasia Self-Made palette if you're looking for a palette. You can do a lot of different looks with this. Has a great size mirror, and it also comes with a really great dual-ended brush. So that's definitely something worth checking out. The next palette I'm going to show is also from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is their Shadow Couture World Traveler palette. I'm a big fan of this palette. Number one, you open it off the bat. There are 4, if not 5, amazing transition tones. Morocco is bae. Fudge is amazing. Soft peach is great, especially if you're going to do the kind of sunsetty shadow sunset eye where I do like a soft peach, an orangey, a dark brown, a deeper brown, then you can do a black. That absolutely, this palette is perfect for that. So it has all the transition tones. It has light, warm, and medium tones. It has a dark brown and a black. It has a beautiful, really unique tone in metallic, as well as pink champagne. Has a really beautiful dark purple, dark tones to do smokies. I think this is a really, really well-rounded palette. Great mirror, great size. This could fit in your pocketbook. It could fit in a clutch bag. Also comes with a great brush, which is not in the palette, and a great size mirror. So I have one more Anastasia palette to round out the bunch. And this one is their Anastasia Artist palette. And there are 12 colors in these palettes. Yes, they all come with 12 colors. Okay, so opening the Artist palette, the first color that draws my eye is Orange You Fancy. Beautiful as a transition shade. It's orange with a beautiful gold. And then my eye goes to Buttery for an eyebrow highlight tone because it's warm and very buttery without being too shimmery or too frosty, which is beautiful. There are beautiful tones in Anaconda, Aubergine, Baby I'm a Star, Coal, Dusty Rose. This palette actually has a lot of really interesting colors and a lot of really interesting color combinations, but you can also get your daily, everyday work look out. Aubergine, Dusty Rose, Baby I'm a Star is beautiful. Beigely is so unique. I don't even think I've used this color yet. And then Blue Velvet on the bottom lash line, smoked out with like aubergine or coal. That is beautiful. If you have brown skin and brown eyes, it's really going to pick up the brown, that blue, and then a nice orange. Punch of Fuchsia or Punch Fuchsia is also a really unique tone, definitely worth checking out. I think Anastasia does a really, really great job with incorporating unique tones, basic tones that you need, and then a whole bunch of other tones where you can just throw in splashes of shimmer and highlight and pop. The next palette I'm going to go into is actually from Makeup Forever. This is their 15 Artist Shadow Eye Palette. And let's just go ahead and check it out. Number one, it is so weighted. It just feels really, really good in the hands. It just feels expensive. Like you just want to have it, you know what I mean? So that's always good. And then when you open it up, off the bat, beautiful, vibrant, just really, really pigmented colors. The blues and the purples are absolutely beautiful. I would think the only thing that I noticed off the bat when I opened this is they all appear to be shimmery, but some of them are shimmer, some have sparkle, and some are a little bit satin. I love this palette because the blues and the purples, and then you have warm and cool nudes, which is beautiful. You have kind of this purpley color, and then you have an eggplant. You have teals, and then you have a nice, beautiful basic blue. You have the traditional smoky colors, black, gray, silver, and then you just have these beautiful purples that just, you can do so many different looks with. I'm a big fan of this palette. It also does have a couple of transition tones. I wish there were a brown in here or maybe some whatever terracotta or an orange or a tannish color, but this palette is beautiful and definitely a palette that you'll get your use out of. I wish there were maybe a couple more transition tones or maybe tones of a different texture to be used for transition, because if you're going to use a transition shade and it has glitter or if it has shimmer or sparkle, it's not going to give you the depth, this extreme depth that you might be looking for in your eye work. Okay, so next up I'm going to go in and look at this Too Faced palette. This is the Too Faced Stardust palette by Vegas Nay. I've actually done looks with most of these palettes that I'll show you, but off the bat I just have to say that I love this palette. This palette was so well thought out. I'm not surprised. Vegas Nay, she's a popular makeup artist. Too Faced does really great products. There are transition shades galore in here. Millennial, Girls Night Out, I love. Jackpot, Double Tap, Gold Nugget is an absolutely beautiful color. And I like the fact that there are shimmers as well as mattes in here. You have deep tones, you have so many warm, bronzy tones in here, which are great for year round, great for all skin tones. And then you have purples, which are also great for all year round and all different skin tones. This is definitely a palette for a girl who loves a red lip. I could absolutely see a red lip being worn with any combination of looks here. It's actually really well pigmented. This set actually comes with cards that are kind of telling you how to use certain colors to create eye looks. So I think that's really cool if you're beginning in makeup and you don't know how to pair things. That's something really cool that came with this. So I like that palette a lot. Multi-tonal, light, medium, dark tones. You can do a smoky, you can do any kind of eye with that. Another palette that I've actually been a really big fan of are the Smashbox full exposure and double exposure palettes. I know that these kind of got a bad rap because they weren't the world's most pigmented palettes. Sometimes, depending on how you like to do your makeup and the style of your makeup, you won't need a super psychotically pigmented palette off the bat, because these are buildable and they do give you a really great texture and they really give you a great color range. Kind of think these got a bad rap. Kind of think somebody popular gave them a bad review and then everyone decided that they were also no good. Opening this off the bat, I love the fact that they offer the tone in a matte and then they offer it in a shimmer. So they have this beautiful peachy rose gold color. They have these beautiful browns, purples. A lot of these palettes actually have similar colors, like I would say the Stardust palette and the double exposure palette have similar colors in them, but different textures and different finishes. The double exposure palette is absolutely insane with the purple and that rose gold color and these two really chocolatey fudgy browns. I mean, you could even do your your eyebrows with this palette. I have. I absolutely love the weight of it. I love the mirror. This too comes with a pretty decent brush, which I do not have in the palette. Are you surprised? So, and then the same thing goes with the full exposure palette. And I actually have the brush in this one. You have the shimmery tones and then you have the same tone in a matte which I love because if you want to do a monochromatic eye, there are like some pewter and taupe tones in here and like a rosy gold tone. There are chocolatey fudgy tones in here. I actually I'm a really big fan of these palettes and the colors that come in them, the finishes, the packaging, the fact that you have the matte and then you have the shimmer really allows you to do looks that go hand in hand that are monochromatic but stay in that family. Sometimes you're like, okay, I have a matte from this brand and then you have another one from this brand and you try to put them together and it's not quite perfect. I think that I really like that. So two other ones that I have from Too Faced, which I probably should have shown with the Vegas Nay, is the Chocolate Bar Bon Bon palette, which is probably the newest palette that I have to date, which I actually haven't got to use yet, but opening it, number one, it smells amazing. Number two, it is so cute. This is like the cutest. I sound like such a girl, but this is such a cute palette. I mean, the hearts. And I also really like the fact that it gives you a cheek highlight. It has highlight tones. It has crease colors, pop colors. This is a perfect palette. I'm not a huge pink eyeshadow fan, but I could completely see using these with the tones that they give you because they give you browns and they give you purples and they give you golds to really ground those pink. It's not like they're giving you pink and neon green and orange. These are really well thought out palettes and I think it is super cute. And molasses, malted, Bordeaux, and dark truffle, like all the colors in here are just beautiful. Especially if you're like me and you like to wear maybe a bold lip and kind of a calm eye. The Bon Bon palette is beautiful and I can't wait to use it and it smells really good. Okay, so the Chocolate Bar palette kind of follows suit with a lot of the other palettes having the rosy tones and then having the browns, purple. There's a really pretty olive green in here. And then I also like that this also offers a warm and a cool highlight. Has transition shades, which are really good, especially if you're like a medium tone because these are kind of more neutral from the Chocolate Bar. They're just really great. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't checked out any. And I'm kind of late to the Chocolate Bar palette family, but I'm a big fan. And then last but not least, I have the Naked on the Run palette, which is beautiful, which I think is less practical than a lot of the other palettes simply because I would feel kind of, it's not glass. I would feel kind of nervous carrying it around because it is a palette with a really big mirror. This palette only has 6 colors, 2 blushes, and a highlight. But what I like about this is it comes with a liner and a lipstick and a mascara. So that kind of balances out for the lack of colors. I think the 5 colors that they put in here for the eyes are beautiful. I wish there was a deeper tone and I wish there was a more pale tone. Because the tones are kind of similar in family, it's kind of hard to get a huge variety out of this palette. But if you're the type of person that has a signature look, if you work at a job where you can't really do too many things with your makeup, or if you're the type of person that has a bright hair color and you need to really play your makeup down on a constant basis because the focus of your look is your hair, then I would definitely recommend a palette like this. It doesn't have a lot of variety, but it does give you those basic pieces that you would need to create a really beautiful look every day. Even if the look is similar, this is a great little palette. If you're not big into makeup, but you want to look special on an occasion, I think that that's a really great palette to check out. Okay, so guys, all in all, if I had to recommend you purchase any of these palettes, I would definitely go toward the Stardust palette. Not only do you get, I think you get a primer, you get a mascara, you get the palette, you get cards that tell you so much information how to create looks. I think it's great. It's universal. You get lots of crease colors. You get lots of pop colors. You get colors that are great all year round. And you get all that for a great value. And then from there, the Anastasia palettes and the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palettes, hands down, are amazing. And I can't wait to do more looks with these. Guys, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them in the bottom bar. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you haven't. I miss you guys so much. I'm so sorry I haven't been on Snapchat lately. I've just been, just busy and stuff or whatever the case may be. You guys already know, if you follow me on Snapchat, you know the deal. Subscribe to this channel because I do a lot of videos and I missed you guys and I'm sorry if I've been weird. As always, guys, I want to thank you so much for commenting, rating, and subscribing. I'll be in touch and hopefully you'll do the same.